People keep asking the wrong version of the right question. What is Blackbeard? Two fruits? A body that cheats the rules? Darkness that doesn't act like a normal Logia? That's not just a gimmick. In the final saga, it feels like cosmology. Oda's been threading a myth older than pirates through Foxy gags, Elbaf scripture, and Zebek's flashback. Put them all together and it clicks. Teach isn't just a man with darkness. He's the ocean's claim. The locker that walks. And he might be the only one who can open it. I'll show you why. Before I expose the secrets of the story, I want you to go show love and support to these creators because they were a massive help in putting this video together. But now, enter the myth. Sailors called the sea's last embrace Davy Jones Locker, the abyss that repossesses ships, bones and debris. The myth was printed as early as 1726, with some tellings say the devil cursed Jones to the seafloor to collect what sinks. Now you don't need every variant, but the core idea is simple. The sea takes back what pride steals. And Oda includes that superstition straight into the story of One Piece. In the Foxy arc, Robin frames the Davy back fight as a pirate rite in homage to Davy Jones, the figure who steals everything that lands on the seafloor. The same sequence paints Hachinosu as pirate paradise, the cradle of Davy back fights, and the place the Rocks pirates famously made their base, which is now Blackbeard's home base. Outside the manga, Oda even toys with the legend in SBS, clarifying he's playing on the locker myth itself, while turning Davy back into his own pirate ceremony. Later in the final saga, the text upgrades all that flavour. Rocks is explicitly linked to Davy devotion and Davy style recruiting, and the Davy family is revealed as a bloodline the government has tried to erase. What looked like a throwaway gag is now a breadcrumb trail leading straight to Blackbeard. Now inside One Piece, Davy backfights aren't party games. They're ritualized wages of identity. You stake crews, flags, even names under oath, and breaking that oath invokes the locker. It's the sea's right dramatized. A social contract that says, what pirates steal, the ocean can take back. Hachinosu being the birthplace of that right and Blackbeard's capital isn't a coincidence. It's a thesis statement. Now Elbaf's law divides history into worlds. In the second world, man killed the sun and became god, and the sea god stormed. In the third, the sun god dances and laughs, guiding the world to its end. And after that, dawn. And when you link that to the Void Century and the Davy revelations, a clean picture forms. Davy D. Jones stood near Joy Boy at the pivotal point and betrayed him, defecting to the hidden throne. And for that betrayal, the sovereign power condemned Davy to the abyss, and the world remembered the sentence as Davy Jones Locker. Pirates imitate that cosmic verdict with Davy backfights, where identities and loyalties can be claimed back by the sea when vows are broken. The myth isn't flavor, it's the operating system. Now Oda writes curses as moral physics. Let me explain. From the start, devil fruits are described as cursed powers, a bargain for strength that leaves you hated by the sea. And Sea Stone literalizes this as solid sea, shutting down abilities on contact. Zenisha is the walking proof that sentences do exist in this world, an ancient being cursed to wander for a crime, only allowed to act under a specific command. And across the series, cursed objects like the Katetsu blades test will against fate, while the Flying Dutchman / Van der Decken thread keeps maritime curses in the foreground. Taken together, the pattern is consistent. When human desires run hot, the sea imposes a veto. If the final saga wants that veto to show up as a character, we should expect someone who can claim, nullify, and contain the fruits of desire. That's the silhouette of Blackbeard. I want you to think behavior, not branding. When Blackbeard reveals the Yami Yami no Mi to Ace, he calls it the most powerful devil fruit in the world. And watch what it does. Kuru-Ozu, spelled out, literally means black whirlpool. Kuru is black. Uzu is a vortex, a spiral, a whirlpool. His signature move isn't a shadow punch, it's an abyssal current. It drags enemies in like undertow, crushes them with pressure like the ocean floor, and most terrifying, it nullifies their powers on contact. Ace's flames don't just lose a clash, they get extinguished by a force that refuses to acknowledge them. And this is where Teach diverges from other Logias. Fire mimics fire, ice mimics ice, smoke mimics smoke. But Teach doesn't mimic an element, he embodies a place, the deep sea abyss. In real oceans, the aphotic zone is the realm without light, where pressure pulverizes steel and dense currents sink anything they can claim. That's Kuruozu in narrative form. Then Marine Ford happens. Blackbeard steals the Gura Gura and lives with 2 fruits. The story doesn't let us shrug. Marco says it out loud. Teach's body is different, or translation, he's a container where anyone else would rupture. A locker. Now let's stack the mechanics on the map. Hachinosu is the cradle of Davy backs, and Blackbeard see it. Rocks worships Davy, and Teach's darkness behaves like the sea. The clean read is that Teach isn't just using darkness, he's carrying the sea's repossession clause. He's both the locker, the capacity to hold what should explode, and the key, with the method being the Yami Yami and Kuruozu, and that opens and closes the abyss. The Harley's line, "The sea god stormed after mankind tried to kill the sun," gives the cosmological backdrop. If Luffy is the laughing sun that guides the world to its end, the story needs a night deep enough to test him. That night isn't abstract, it has a face and a physics. Teach's abyss. He is the storm that Harley promises. Not weather, but verdict. The sun can't reach dawn without passing the locker. Now here's the endgame picture. Doflamingo once bragged about a national treasure in Marijua powerful enough to shake the world. And later, we see Imu descend to a vault beneath the Holy Land. The chamber with the giant straw hat and other secrets the government pretends don't exist. The simplest way to reconcile those images with the Davy Trail is this. That vault isn't a trophy room. It's Davy Jones's locker. Or the engine that roots into it. Now the government can guard the locker and dip into it. But to unlock it wholesale, to run a world-scale Kuruozu that drags every devil fruit, and if necessary every user, back to the bottom, they need the one person whose body and power are built to open and operate the abyss. Blackbeard. Imu and the highest elders posture as if they don't need fruits because their plan isn't to outpunch Yonko, it's to turn the board off. Repossess all desire the fruits embody. Think Dressrosa's toy curse, but global. When you're claimed by the locker, power and memory become negotiable. History rewrites around the void. Now Blackbeard of course won't just sit back and be a tool. The second that door opens, he will try to withdraw something for himself. An erased name, a fruit the sea reclaimed, or the authority to operate the locker without a throne looking over his shoulder. That's the bargain Imu is forced to make. Risk the key holder to press the off switch, which sets up the inevitable clash the saga has been aiming at. The sun versus abyss. Blackbeard isn't trying to say freedom is fake. He wants to prove that freedom belongs to whoever holds the abyss. He will try to pull Nika down to sea level and show that Luffy's freedom is something that he can shut off or sell back. But the win condition for Luffy isn't to hit harder than gravity. It's to stay free when the sea says no. To laugh in a place where no light reaches. If the dawn is real, it has to outlast the deepest night. And that's the final click. Elbaf gives us the cosmology. Davy gives us the sentence. Doflamingo points at the vault. Imu sets the trap. And Teach carries the key. When that vault opens, by bargain or by force, everything the world tried to drown is going to surface, and the locker that walks will decide whether it stays. If Imu's plan is to open the locker and pull in every devil fruit, every desire, and even whole users if they mark them by will, then we're talking about a full reset. Think Dressrosa's curse, but global. Once the seas claim you, power and even memory are up for rewrite. The vault under Marijua isn't a trophy room, it's the control room for that system. The throne can guard it and poke at it, but to run the whole thing, to spin up a world-sized Kurozu, they still need the one body that can safely open and manage an abyss on command. Blackbeard. But Teach isn't showing up to help anyone end the Age of Fruits. His dream is the opposite of erasing power. He wants to own the flow of power after the reset. If Emu's move is centralized deletion, Teach's move is selective release. As he is the locker that walks, body as the locker, Yami as the key, he can reach in and pull things back out. Fruits the sea took, names and histories the government drowned, maybe even pieces of Zebek that never fully vanished. He'd turned the locker from a prison into his own armory and archive. And that's the real threat. Once the door opens, Teach can start reissuing what the world lost on his terms. A kingdom wants its forgotten lineage back. A crew wants a stolen fruit back. Pledge up. He can ransom history and loan out power like a dark banker of the sea. And if there's any way to bring Zebek back, whether that's a will, a name, a fruit lineage, or something the story treats like a soul imprint, Teach will go fishing for it. Not out of nostalgia, but because reviving a terror the government erased would prove he controls the abyss they fear. This is where Doflamingo suddenly matters again. His brag about the national treasure of Meridua lines up with the vote we've seen. The chamber with the giant straw hat and other things the world pretends don't exist. If that vote is the interface to the locker, then Joker wasn't bluffing. He was pointing at the off switch for an entire era. Emu wants to use it to call Desire home and wipe the board. Teach wants to use it to decide who gets Desire back. And Dofi, he will sell strings to either side if it gets him out the cage. All of this funnels into the showdown the story's always been aiming at. The sun versus the abyss. Teach will try to turn off Nika, proving Luffy's freedom is just a fruit. Luffy can't win that by hitting harder. He wins by staying free when the sea says no, by keeping the drum of liberation beating in a place where no light reaches. If the dawn is real, it has to shine in the aphotic zone. There's two quirks of Teach that snap into focus here. The bit about him not sleeping, that tracks. A locker that's always a bit open never truly powers down. Yami is a constant inward pull. The system doesn't idle, so the man doesn't either. And the way hits hurt him more isn't a random penalty, it's the cost of being the container. Other Logias let damage pass through you. Yami takes everything in. Pressure, fire, shock. He absorbs it. The same capacity that lets him hold what would explode anyone else also means every punch lands like it's smashing into the ocean floor. The locker protects and it punishes. So the stakes are simple and brutal. Emu wants to erase. Teach wants to control. Between them stands a laughing sun who has to prove that freedom isn't rented from a fruit and it isn't owned by the sea. The vault opens, the abyss spins, and the world finally learns what the ocean kept in the dark, and who gets to bring it back out. Let me know what you guys thought of this theory down below, and if you liked it, subscribe because there's a whole lot more content coming. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.